just kind of going through some updates and we'll go from there. Hey everybody, Peter Gander here. Thanks for joining us on our every other Thursday update call. Just wanted to jump in real quick and give everybody kind of updates where we're at. Of course, everybody knows what we're doing with Stardom and Star Babies. We announced our new partner, Reveal, which we're working with. Their project is moving forward. They're in the security space. The main thing I think I want to cover here today is the market, right? So, I mean, it's just amazing right now, under $1 trillion. And I say amazing, it's amazing in two ways. Amazing is, in a bad way, is, oh my goodness, I bought in some of these tokens when it was a $3 trillion, nearly $3 trillion, right? November, right? Because we were buying in that time frame. Bought some at 2.5 trillion, bought some in at $2 trillion market cap, right? We've been buying the whole time. And the reason why I've been purchasing and acquiring assets in the crypto space is I believe in the long term of the blockchain, right? Not because of wishful thinking. I'm not hoping that someday, crypto will make me a gazillionaire and let me, just hope on it. So first of all, looking at myself, looking at projects that we have docs teams, looking at projects that have utility, looking at projects that have long-term potential, that have the staying power. They're not bloated with expenses and costs. These are all the parameters that our projects, TruBadger, Safu, Insights all have, right? Team that shows up here and on all of our stuff every week. A project that has the wherewithal to last through, whether this bear market lasts 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, 10 months, a year, whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter how long it lasts because we know it's a temporary thing. And I'll relate this back to the .com days or the real estate market. So in the last 22 years, there's been two things where there's been some real busts, right? And actually there's three, because when COVID first came out, the stock market took a huge dive only to recover and move well beyond that. But in 2008, houses crashed down. People were giving them up left and right. The people that said, hey, wait a minute, they're on discounted sale, I'm going to go buy some, are doing very well today, right? Now we're going into another transition, right? House prices were skyrocketing. It looks like they're cooling down right now because of different things that are happening, okay? In 2000, .com busted. A lot of people said, I'm selling my shares. I'm getting out of this market. A lot of companies shut down. Other companies said, wait a minute, the internet's here to stay. It's the technology. They had the vision of, and you guys have heard me say this before, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you've heard me say, I'm in my office right now with a green screen with, behind me with graphics and all this other stuff, broadcasting around the globe. And I could do this driving down the road at 70 miles an hour, right? If I had somebody else driving, I wouldn't be driving, but depends on, nowadays I wouldn't be driving. In the old days, maybe I would have, right? But I could be driving down the road at 70 miles an hour and it works. That possibility was there in 2000 when the market crashed. It just was going to take time for it to come in. I believe that the same thing is right now with blockchain. It's not about crypto. I'm not a day trader. I'm not somebody who, wants to spend all my time jumping in and out and in and out and in and out of projects, right? It's just not something that is, I like to do. I like to find great projects like Otherverse, Muon, Stardom, Reveal, projects that I believe have the potential. Will all of them make it? No, I don't think all of them will, but a lot of them will, because again, why? Strong teams, wherewithal, people that are committed to it. They understand the blockchain. They're not here for get rich quick. They're the way that they're operating and function, great business ideas, concepts, great utility to the products and the services. Muon, the technology that they're building, they have the potential to be the leader in cross-chain. And if whoever's the leader in cross-chain, I can only imagine how successful that company will be. Otherverse, 17 years experience in the space. These are things that I believe in, right? These are things that I say, okay, yeah, the market's down right now. everything's down. You in crypto. Look, I was just talking to somebody. You can now buy a Bored Ape yacht NFT for under 90 grand. It's been a long, well, you can't say a long time, right? Because last April you could buy them for a few hundred. But once it took off, who would have known that you would ever see $90,000 Bored Ape yacht? Now, I don't have 90 grand to put into one. I'm not going to buy one. I'm not saying I'm going to. My goal is to find the next project that is going to create that much value in the world, to build it ourselves and not necessarily just hook on to somebody else's. That's where I believe the power of community comes in. And keep moving things forward and, make things happen, right? So I believe that a community of people that come together for a common purpose, that stay committed, stay driven, right? Keep being part of the solution, advancing things, can make it. I don't know the history, but I would guarantee you that the majority of people that bought Bored Ape yachts, it was not the first. I'm going to try to do the research on it at some point in time when I have the time, but I would bet that most of those people, that was not the first NFT that they purchased. They were already into NFTs. They were buying them, looked like a cool project. It blew up, and that's why they got into it. Same thing. Most people, the first crypto they buy is not a home run, right? Moving forward from there, it takes that you have to, a dozen, 2, 5, 36 projects, and boom, you hit it together. And that's the reason for Nexus ecosystem, right? We came together and said, hey, let's form a group of community of people that would then support multiple projects. Let's build some projects to support those launches. November 5th came though. November 5th, it was like, I was up that night and it was so close, about 20 billion away from going over 3 trillion, right? It's like, oh my goodness, we're going to go over 3 trillion. That's amazing. And then boom, and it started to drop, and it's been dropping. There've been some bounces, but it's been dropping ever since. So there's 1 of 2 things you can do, or maybe 1 of 3 things, right? You can just hold and see where it goes from here. So I'll just keep everything I have. You can say, I'm getting out. It's over with. I'm going to sell everything that I have. Or you can say, you know what? This is a chance for me to, by the time it gets to 3 trillion, I'm that much more ahead. And the way to do that is what's called cost averaging, right? You say, okay, well, I'm into, and I'll use TruBadger as a token. As an example, maybe you came on board, TruBadger market cap was 25 million. It's now down to just under 5 million. You bought the $100 worth at 25 million, right? Then, the possibility, and I'm not giving financial advice here, guys. I'm giving options for what is there right now. You can cost average in, right? You had bought $100 worth. You can buy $20 worth and double what you have. And now the market only needs to go to 12.5 and you're back to even again, right? You're back to where you have 100% of what you've put into it. If you said, well, I have 100, I'm going to put in 2 now, then of course it needs to go lower and lower and lower in order for it to move up and get in that position. And now you just need to look at and say, what do you think, by doing your own research? Do you think TruBadger is going to go up from here? Or do you think it's going to go down? Or do you think it's just going to stay where it's at? What are we doing that says, hey, we can move this thing forward? We're consulting for Otherverse. We are acquiring things like Muon tokens, Reveal tokens. We're acquiring digital assets. That's what TruBadger is doing right now by working with it, acquiring NFTs, right? That'll sit on our books, right? So we're going to have some Star Baby NFTs that'll sit on our books. Somebody had asked the question about, and I don't have Dawn on here, so I can't give you an update on Crypto Gods, but we'll get that out to Kathleen. We'll get that out to you guys and let you know what's going on there. So Sharona, if you can make a note, or Corey, make a note for us to ask Dawn. We've been so tied up on all the other stuff we've been doing. We haven't had a chance to do that yet. I don't know the status of that right now, but we will find out. I do know that right now, Dawn is testing the staking contract for Safufied. So that's coming back into, they're testing it. It's going to have to be tested for a few days. We did run the audits on the contract, or have the staking contract audited already. So that's already been done. And we're hoping to get that launched here sometime in the very near future. Anyway, so we've got that question in our chat right now. So maybe Don will give us an answer before we get off here. If not, we'll update that answer down the road. So, but you know, we're going to keep working at it, guys. Everyone needs to make their decision what they're going to do. This team is going to stay engaged because, again, we believe in the blockchain space, right? That's why we got into it in the first place. It wasn't, hey, oh, wow, we can get rich over here really quickly. It was that we saw the long-term potential of it. I see blockchain, Web 3, the security, the safety, decentralization. I see that as a core part of the internet, what we're on right now, where we're working right now. And I got to tell you guys, we're working with companies right now and some of the other things we're doing that are multi-billion-dollar publicly traded companies, okay? Huge companies, tens of billions of dollars in current market cap, okay? So even in this down market, they are heavily getting into blockchain. It's actually one of their major initiatives that's taking place right now. They are working with another company that every single person on here would know of that is also in the billions and billions and billions of dollars in valuation, that is heavily investing and moving towards blockchain. So all this is going on in the background. They love it. And I'm serious too. The giant companies love it when we're afraid and when we're leaving the marketplace right now. Why? Because they have the resources to position themselves. They understand where this technology will be. This happened during the dot-com days. People were selling out like crazy. The big wealthy funds were buying and buying and buying. Same thing with the housing market. When everybody, you know, you go get your hair cut and your haircutter would tell you they're into houses. They own 4 homes that are being built right now. They're under contract, And then the market crashed. They lost the 4 houses. Big investors came in and bought because they had the resources to do it. Today, they are much wealthier than they were back in 2008, right? They rented them out for, you know, whatever many years. Some of them you could have left vacant. And as long as you maintained them, still made money compared to what they were selling for there. The pathway to success, guys, is a couple things. One is making good decisions in the first place. 2 is staying committed and dedicated towards what's going on. 3 is making sure you're working with the right people. I just had a conversation earlier today with someone who said, and I talked to them about this a few years ago, that it's not just how much money you make, but it's the people that you work with that is as important as it. Enjoying what you're doing and being able to move forward with it. And they came back to me and said, yeah, you were right. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Guys, Nexus ecosystem. There's no way that you can arrange the letters of Nexus ecosystem and come up with get rich quick. Never have I mentioned getting rich quick in any call, anything that we've ever talked about, right? It's not about that. It's about building real wealth. It's about taking, you know, guys know when I came on, I thought in 5 to 8 years, we could build $1 trillion worth of wealth. We're 1 year into that. That's it, 1 year, right? That means we have 4 to 7 years to be able to establish the community and get to that point. And in that time, there may be 3 or 4 market adjustments, right? Where it skyrockets up and comes back down, skyrockets up, comes back down. Ultimately, that's just the market. You can't show me a market that hasn't done it. Gold has gone up and down. Okay. I know because one of my businesses is we recover precious metals from e-waste, right? Gold goes up and down. Stock market goes up and down. The bond market up and down. All of it goes up and down. So does crypto, and it's going to do that. And that's the reason why when you hear anybody, when it comes to real estate goes up and down, right? You know, it was going up. it's going down now, right? So prices here in Phoenix have adjusted by about probably 2 or 3% right now from where they were just a couple weeks ago. The housing market went from very little inventory every day. The inventory is growing, which means it's going from a seller's market to a buyer's market. And in that, going from a seller's market to a buyer's market, I'm going to put that to the crypto market. When crypto was going up and almost hit 3 trillion, okay, it wasn't a buyer's market, it was a seller's market, right? Because that was near the top. The buying market is, in my opinion, now, right? And it may go lower, but I actually believe it is going to go lower. I think, Bitcoin, looking at the analysis that I've seen from other people that are professionals in the space, they're saying 16 to 18,000 is going to be the bottom of Bitcoin. 750 is going to be the bottom of Ethereum. But guess what? If I'm trying to time the bottom, I'm probably going to miss it. But if I do cost averaging, where I get involved and say, hey, I'm just going to keep putting a little bit more, 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 then I believe that is going to be the best result that I can get, because I don't have to worry, where's it at the time? I guess the goal is looking at it and saying, do I believe that Ethereum, the network they run, the smart contracts that they run, and all that stuff, do I believe in that side of it? And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a huge believer in Ethereum. I don't own a lot of Ethereum because of the network fees. If they fix the network fees, that may change my opinion of it, right? Bitcoin, do you believe in it? Is it something that you do? If you do, and you believe the Michael Sayers of the world, the other analysts that are out there, they're saying at one point it'll be 300,000, 500,000, $1 million. So that's the decision that you need to make. And if it is that, and if that is where it's going, then what do you want to do? It doesn't matter at 60 or 30 or 18 or 20. What do you want to do? You want to accumulate over time. Just keep accumulating. We were just entered, or one of the groups we're working with is working with a gentleman who collected lots of Bitcoin. I'll just use that as a term, and then got distracted. He was going to sell it, got distracted, and then ended up holding on to it almost by accident. And today is extremely wealthy, right? We've had a couple situations with that with Bitcoin, right? Where somebody bought one back in 2013, and over time it was able to go up and move in that direction. So I believe in the technology that's here of the blockchain and cryptocurrency, and that's what I'm sticking to right now. And I'm not going to be one of those people that have massive regret. I was in it, it crashed, I got away from it, that type of thing. We actually did that in 2018. I got in, did very well. The crash came. We didn't leave completely, but I stopped buying cryptos. I stopped accumulating. We built software that is our DigiBot software that trades, by the way, doing extremely well. Very good. If you have your account set up properly, Digi's just absolutely every day trades, and making trades that are making 20%, 18%. It's just beautiful, right? Against Bitcoin. But I did not keep accumulating. And if I would have kept accumulating after, March of 2018, oh my goodness, where would I be right now, right? But I didn't. I said, let's build some software. We'll go do some other stuff. We'll get away from it. And we did not stick with it. Now, that was on a longer bear market, right? It lasted almost 2 years. I guess right at 2 years, a little over 2 years. Do we think it's going to be this long this time? Probably not. There's a lot of functionality coming in with NFTs. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a television show coming out, right? I believe Seth Green, I think, is the one that's doing it. He just had to buy back his NFT. But they're getting ready to make a show, and the NFTs are in the show, right? They brought them to life as animated characters. And it's not just the Bored Ape Yachts. It has all different types of NFTs that are a part of this show. That's going to get a lot of exposure to NFTs. There is the metaverse coming. I got to tell you guys, if you have not seen the Meta commercials, Meta is running commercials like crazy. Look, the metaverse is not just a might happen. The metaverse is going to happen. Absolutely, positively, the metaverse is going to happen. We were talking with one of the groups we're working with. They are having their meetings now in the metaverse, and they said it's just way more productive than what they normally would do on Zoom, right? So if you can say business is more productive if it's done this way than it is this way, then this way is going to be successful, right? Because business is about efficiencies and about finding the most effective way to do business. There's always some people that lag behind, but that's what it's going to move towards. So business in the metaverse, education in the metaverse, shopping in the metaverse is coming. Just saw in a few months, 1 million square foot shopping mall is going to be released in the metaverse. That's going to make shopping in the metaverse cool, and it'll only get better, right? So I'm doing the same thing they did in 2000, right? The people that were really super smart and said, you know what, this internet thing, the bubble just burst on the value of the stocks, but that doesn't change the fact that everything is going to be done online. Oh my goodness, that doesn't change the fact that Peter and Laura are going to have Amazon come to the house 3 times a day because we run a business from the home and always getting supplies and stuff like that. That doesn't change the fact that there's, Airbnb is going to be a better way for people to rent places, and, underutilized assets are going to finally be able to be utilized to generate revenue for people. I know a ton of people right now that are renting out rooms in their houses, right? It's the way they're paying their mortgage payments. Lots of people who own 4 or 5 Airbnbs right now, right? That are making $10,000 a month off of those Airbnbs. People that are driving Uber, right? That need some spare cash. People that are delivering meals. So before, if you had a restaurant that delivered food, what did you do? They had a driver. That one driver would come there and deliver food, and it took a long time sometimes for you to get your food. Why? Because the delivery driver had already left, or the 2 delivery drivers, and there was no one else to deliver. Now you've got this great thing where there's apps where there's 20 people sitting around going, well, I've got, some spare time on my hands. I need to make some spare money. But guess what, guys? This was already in motion in 2000. And the people that saw that were able to then go and say, okay, wow, this Google's pretty cheap right now. Oh, this Facebook is pretty cheap right now. Why? Because people panicked and they didn't see the long-term potential of it. This Amazon stock is pretty cheap right now. And after the bubble pop, it was really cheap, right? I mean, you could buy it for just a steal, right? It had already proven that it was a successful business. It already had customers. It already had everything. So here's the cool, okay, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. People were piling money on total speculation. Somebody would come up with a concept, pets.com. Pets.com, we own it. We're going to build a website. We're going to sell it. No customers. People piling money and piling money and piling money in. Here it is, 2000, things pop, prices come down, and nobody looks at and says, oh, wait a minute, Priceline already has tens of hundreds of thousands, millions of customers that are using it, and they're getting better benefit from it, much better than going to a travel agent and under a lot of circumstances. So that means that tens of million more will, so maybe I should get some and hold on to it for a while, and move forward from there. I believe that's where we're at in the crypto space. And so, if you didn't, liquidate some back in November, December area, then my opinion is, and I'm doing it for mine, is just hold on to them and wait for the recovery to come, wait for the technology to continue to develop. When you look at it, guys, and I think this is where we as people get confused a little bit. We look at the market cap going down and we think, oh, the value of the company is going down. No, the value of the asset that supports that company is going down. But the company in the background is still building technology. They're still enhancing it. They're making it better. It's just that has not been reflected in the market because of panic or whatever else. I mean, the biggest thing right now that's taking everything down is people believe that there'll be a recession, but it's speculation. Will there be one? Will there not be one? I don't know, probably, because the way things are going, the price of gas and everything else, there'll probably be a recession. But how long will that recession last? Will it last a week? Will it last a month? Will it last 6 months, a year? We don't know. Will crypto finally, right now it moves with the market, will crypto finally detach again? Because it used to not move with the market. So at one point it did not move with the market. Then institutional, other people got involved, and then it started to move with the market. So in this next phase, if there is a recession and people lose confidence in the traditional centralized system, do they finally go, well, there's this decentralized one, and does it detach, and then one is going down and the other is going up? That is one of the possibilities that's there, right? Is that they could detach, one could go up and the other could go down. Right now they're moving together, right? So again, there's a lot of speculation that's out there and a lot of things that you have to decide on that. But I think the biggest number one is blockchain a technology that will be around in 5, 10, 15, 20 years? I wish I would have done this in 2000, right? Okay, wait a minute. Is the internet going to still be around? Oh, yeah. Okay, then let me go look and see what are the good projects that are out there in the internet, and let me just buy and hold, and let's see what happens over the next 20 years. I wish I would have done it in 2008, right? House prices could crash down, all-time lows. Wait a minute, people are still going to live in houses. Population is growing. So eventually, this has got to recover, right? And eventually, they've got to be worth more, and went and bought a dozen, $80,000 houses, right? Which I could have gotten no problem, right? And then just took those dozen and held on to them, rented them out. And then today they're probably, $400,000 houses, right? And could have done extremely well in that time frame. So, and there's probably some people on here that are listening that did that, right? They did acquire some homes and they did that right thing. I just know for myself, I'm not going to let this happen again in this space. I believe 100% that blockchain is going to change the world, and crypto is the representation of the value that that blockchain represents. And here's this again, another one of my thought processes is centralized currencies cannot and will not represent blockchain projects. They won't, not at the end of the day. It's going to take decentralized assets, cryptocurrency, to be the representation of that. You could have the technology of blockchain and have fiat represent that value, or you can have the blockchain, and there'll be some publicly traded companies that get heavily into crypto support systems and stuff. But I believe the real opportunity is the blockchain projects and then the cryptos that are created to represent those values. This is the big proposition over here. This probably do okay if you find the right ones. This, if you find the right ones, is the huge opportunity, which is a decentralized crypto that's supporting a decentralized crypto project. But again, that's just my opinion. You've got to do your own research and you've got to figure that out for yourself. So I think that's all we have today, guys. Star babies are out right now. If you want to get one, great. If you don't, that's okay. We are excited about it. There are a lot of influencers. If you go on the social media, you'll see that we have Byron Scott, 100 or 200,000 followers on his social media. He will be promoting it. We have the NFT guys. They will be promoting it. They're up in the range of over, I think, 50,000 people that are into NFTs. Plus, they have some contacts that we're talking to right now that have much bigger groups. You have CC, which is 100, or I think that's 150,000. So about 400,000, and we'll be announcing more over the next few days. Those are all people that will post that they are involved and got an NFT themselves. They are people that will share on their social media about getting on the A list, which is the white list of it. They are people that will announce the day of the public sale, that there's a public sale going on right now for the Star Baby NFTs. They will also promote the launch day. So there's 3 different phases for the promotion. There's the pre-A-list sale, the public sale, and then there is the that. All of these influencers are only involved because they love the project itself. Okay. These are not people that are just saying, okay, I'll take any project, right? These are not normal. The NFT guys are, but that's even a different situation from what they're doing here than they normally do. They've done about 50 projects. They've been blown away by the content that's been created, the NFTs themselves, the utility of the NFTs, the concept that's behind it. They're in love with all that stuff themselves. And moving forward from there, I believe we'll be announcing Posterity Films. They have 25,000 investor base in the film industry, and then they have another base of people that's about 5,000 that are into crypto and NFTs. That's another influencer that will be posting, again, A-list, public sale, and then of course the launch, and then hopefully continue to promote after that, right? That they'll use their NFT as their profile picture, things like that. If you guys don't know of these influencers, CC is on Basketball Wives. Her husband, Byron, is a basketball coach for the Lakers, I believe. He's the head coach there. And then the NFT guys, again, they've done 50 projects. So we're going to be announcing a bunch more. We've got some other groups. We have one that's a potential. I think we'll firm that up maybe tomorrow or Monday. 69,000 people on her social media, but has a tracked 3% response rate in other things, right? So she can show where normally whenever she does something, she gets a 3%. That would be a couple thousand NFTs right there. Who knows? Maybe she only gets a 0.3% right here, but that would still be a few hundred NFTs. And that's one of over 60 influencers right now that in some form or fashion will be promoting Star Babies. So we believe it's going to get a lot of exposure and a lot out there. You can right now get the Star Babies on Catapult Swap at the absolute lowest rate that's there. When they go out on the A-list, it'll be $250, $300 on the public sale day. Right now for $200 on Catapult Swap, you can go through that process and you can get a Star Babies NFT. Corey, anything you got, buddy?
Man, I was just sitting here getting excited, Peter. Let me turn my camera on, actually. I was just watching you go. Yeah, I was telling the team earlier, I was doing some research online. I think you covered the market real well, and you gave your personal strategy and opinion without financial advice. But same here. It's just an incredible time. I think it's an incredible time to be cost averaging and getting into crypto, getting into NFTs, getting into the market, getting your feet wet, or diving in. So that's my strategy as well. Eventually, and when this market takes its back upturn again, like history shows, the time right now is where our team has personally and as a team effort been building heavily in the background, nonstop with the UCR partnerships on behind Peter and behind myself here on these different partnerships that Peter explained, and being a part of the movement now. The X factor kicks in, and you all know what happens then. So, I would just heed what Peter was saying and follow us. If you guys aren't following us now, if you haven't gotten any NFTs yet, you've seen them, you heard about them. Great place to get started. We have a great support team as well to help you get those if you don't know how. But other than Star Babies being a hugely heavily armed utility based NFT, with your connection to movies and films and being a part of all of that, I think that hits it home right there. And what a better time to get involved. So this is your opportunity to do that, and just keep following us for more information. What Peter says is, is exactly along the train of thought that I have been in since crypto in 2013, when Bitcoin was $97. So everybody I talked to the last few months has been, I don't know if I want to get into crypto now. Bitcoin's too expensive, and now look at everything. It's it's the right time. So that's all I got. I'm excited about, you look over here at all these projects, and that's just the beginning outside of what we have created on this side. The partnerships and the projects we're doing on this side, they're absolutely mind blowing, guys. And to be a part of those is it's just a huge opportunity. So get involved. That's all I got, Peter. Well said, my friend.
Yeah, well, the market's running well right now, so it's heading in the up direction. So
hard to move.
It'll come back down eventually, but here's in probably the next day or two. But definitely,
don't be that person and let's just say it does recover and explodes in the next couple of weeks. Man, you're going to be sitting there going, "Oh, I wish I could turn back time." But we're in it right now, so yeah, it is looking like a little up movement going on right now.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody. If anybody has any, real quick, one more time, if you have any Q&A, if you can stick it in the Q&A real quick, that's what we're here for, is to give you our perspective and then answer any questions. So we'll do a countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.